Hey guys, Andy here. So recently I've been getting into cycling, the last kind of 3 months or so. I've been trying to lose weight, getting back into shape. And one of the sort of hotly debated topics on forums and the internet generally can be whether cyclists and joggers should wear anything in their ears. Now, my issue is if I'm cycling for an hour or so, I don't really want to do that in silence. I mean, you can. You're out in the countryside enjoying the view, and it's not too bad, to be fair. It's not like sitting on an exercise bike in a gym, I don't think. But still, it can get a little bit dull, a little bit boring if you're not cycling with anybody. But I get that people say, well, it's dangerous. You can't hear the traffic around you. You can't hear these dangers and goodness knows what. And I'm not going to lie, I've almost been knocked off once because I didn't realise someone was behind me and, anyway, long story. So I was quite interested when somebody said, well, what about the Trekz Air? When they mentioned them, they were 140 odd pounds. I thought, well, that's quite expensive for something just to try. But recently, on Amazon at least, they dropped down to just under £100. I thought, well, okay, I'm prepared to give them a go at that price. Now, the difference with the Trekz Air, they don't necessarily look different straight away until you pop them on your head. And even then you might not notice, but they're not actually in my ear. These use bone conduction to vibrate, in theory, to vibrate my skull and get the sound through to my eardrum, I suppose. Whatever, my inner ear? No, not inner eardrum. Using those vibrations. What this means is your ears are still open to hear all the traffic and any other dangers, or even someone talking to you for that matter. And I really like the idea of that. I do sometimes ride with people, friends, and you're not always talking. It's not always suitable that you're riding two abreast or three abreast or whatever. It's just not polite in some ways, I suppose. And you're cycling basically on your own. Although there's people in front and behind you, you can't talk to them. There's too much noise around for you to hold a conversation. So I like the idea that I can be listening to something, and then when someone pulls alongside, I press a button and the music or the podcast stops and I can hear them. But before we go any further, I suppose, let's just kind of take a look at what's included in the box. So it's quite a nicely presented box, I would say. It's by Aftershokz. The model are the Trekz Air. They do have a few different models. I'll be honest, I don't know what the difference is. I went for kind of the most expensive, thinking they're going to be the best ones, aren't they? Clearly. If we have a look on the back, you see the model I've got is red. They come sort of, I think it's blue, green and grey. And if we have a look down the bottom here, it gives some of the features. I think the ones to note, IP55 sweat resistant. I mean, I used them in the rain as well. I don't think, it's not the best of resistances, IP55. The other thing to notice is a 6-hour battery, which I think is plenty for most people. So, yeah, all looks pretty good there. Let's crack on and get inside that lovely cellophane. There we go. And as we open up from the side, actually the first thing I noticed was it's got those nice magnetic closing. Some of the Osmo Action didn't have. I was really disappointed, but this does. Just, I don't know, easily amused, I suppose. There are the headphones. There's some chap pulling a rope wearing the headphones. So I'm just got to release the sticky from the side, and in we go. So what else? What is underneath the headphones? Well, first of all, we've got kind of it's almost an instructions card, but really it's just how to pair. It's very simple. Your up and down volume, your up volume is also your power button, so you hold that down to get into pairing mode, and it just points out, make sure you cover the charging port. Then at the bottom, we've got kind of a rubberized but soft rubber touch carry case with the Aftershokz logo embossed in. Slightly disappointing, it's a micro USB cable, but not that it's a big issue. And then we've got some earbuds. Interesting. So they don't cover your ear, but they give you the option to plug your ears. Interestingly, they do, I can tell you now, they sound a bit louder and you get a bit better bass if you plug your ears, but obviously you then lose the effect of hearing everything. I guess that's just if you're not needing to hear everything. They want to give you the option. So it's quite rigid sort of rubber, as you can see, I suppose. On the left bud, we have the sort of start-stop button. You double press that to skip forward. There's no skip back. I've not really found that to be an issue. And then on the other side is the up and down volume, which the one being the power button, of course. and the micro USB charging point. So relatively simple, which is fine if you're jogging or cycling. You don't want a lot of weird controls to deal with. So really, once you've got your volume, which I won't lie, I've generally had on maximum, all you're really looking at then is the start-stop button on the left earbud. As I said, quite a stiff sort of rubber, but it all fits in nicely. You go sort of buds first, so to speak, because it's slightly bell-shaped, and it all fits nicely in the carry case. As you can see there, there's quite a bell shape to it. So I think at this point, really, it's about getting out and using them. Now, obviously, you can use them for a variety of different things. As I mentioned, I've been cycling, so I think it's time to get out, ride, and see how they perform.
So I actually find them really comfortable. Obviously, because there's nothing actually in your ear, they're just sitting on the side of your head. So I guess it stands to reason that they're going to be more comfortable than a lot of earphones. They're either pressing your ear down or sticking inside your ear or whatever else. There are some notes, I suppose. There's sometimes the vibration, you can kind of feel it in your skull, but otherwise you wouldn't know what was going on. It's not, you can't tell your head's vibrating or your skull's vibrating. So yeah, very comfortable. The button, it's a little bit weird. I don't know quite why they put the button on the sort of corner. So when you press it, it does rotate the unit slightly, especially if you double press. It just moves. So the first time you press it's moved, so the second time it's a bit weird, but the good thing is you don't have to press that quickly for the double press. You can just go press, and that skips forward. The noise is an interesting one because you can probably hear traffic going by me now. It only really is an issue if it's like a really loud lorry or something, and then I do struggle to hear, even on top volume, struggle to hear the earphones. I don't think there's any way around that. I mean, that's kind of the point, isn't it? You're supposed to be able to hear the outside world, so you can't then complain when the outside world is too loud that you can't hear the earphones. I think that's just what you have to live with. It's very seldom, so these cars passing by now wouldn't be an issue for me. I would easily be able to hear what was playing. The battery life, the furthest I've gone is about 3.5 hours, and my phone was saying there was 40% battery left in them, so there's no reason to not believe the 6-hour quoted battery life that I've seen. So all in all, I really like them. I think I will wear them when I'm cycling. They're not as great if you listen to music. I've just been the last 20 minutes or so listening to music, and they're okay, they're reasonable, but they don't compare in any way to like inner ear headphones. But for podcasts, which is what I predominantly listen to, actually they sound really good, really good. So yeah, I really like them. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, but for now, my name's Andy, and I'll catch you all again soon.
Well done, and thank you for making it to the end of the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, you might want to click the little fellow that should hopefully appear about here to subscribe. You may also want to check out some of my other videos, which are going to appear somewhere there. Also, come and have a look at my website, androidandy.uk. There is also a forum. Come and say hello on the forum if you've got any questions about things or request me to review things or anything else. Just come and have a chat on the forum.